watch my back and the smoke your ass. And when I come jack, that's why some pigs and the kids come sweating, they follow. Hollow point shill's hard to swallow. Why wallow when they come to roll on it with the clip in the wolf, I break your head sign. Not kicking dust, cause they get bust. My crew's surrounded, I'm about to get rushed. I'll brush with them. How many shells left in my closet? Where my bag full, my strap when the shit goes down. Better be ready.
When the shit goes down.
When the shit goes down. You better be ready.
When the shit goes down.
When the shit goes down. You better be ready.
When the shit goes down.
When the shit goes down. You better be ready.
Better be ready.
I told the police to start our clocks and the rest of the guys I strap on the bulletproof vest. Boom, I think I got one to the test. Hot damn, I didn't want to kill a man. Shit, still stand tall with the Hill Clan. Y'all, you better step back. You better fall. I'm coming up blasting like a Simony Sam. I got the cheese and the bread for the ham. Shit goes down. You better be ready.
When the shit goes down.
When the shit goes down. You better be ready.
When the shit goes down.
When the shit goes down, you better be ready.
When the shit goes down.
When the shit goes down, say,
Better be ready. Yeah.
The following show features stupid opinions and ideas from two idiot brothers who probably did little research and practiced zero due diligence on the topic at hand. The MLO Bros opinions do not reflect the views of their employer, guests, sponsors, families, neighbors, or pets. If you do not like what they are saying and don't agree with their views or opinions, don't watch the show. We can promise we do not care. Welcome to the worst show on the internet.
Hi, Isaac. Hi, dude. Look at my closet. What? Look at my closet. Dude, you gotta clean that closet out. We are live. We're gonna talk about weed a little bit, Isaac. We're gonna talk about weed tonight. Issue 2.
Okay.
Issue 1. I don't know if you know anything about it. It's super annoying and it's so political and it's just gross. So we'll go over that a little bit.
Sure.
And then the deer people thing. 90 deer
So
and
weird,
out.
weed, issue 1, deer people thing. Let's talk about the Middle East a little bit too.
You want to talk about the Middle East? We're getting into some serious stuff. This is like some groundbreaking stuff.
I do.
So yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. Let's save the weed thing because I think I want viewer participation with the weed thing. I want to see what everybody says. I'm curious
For all of this, honestly, if you have any,
So let's
have any
go.
comments?
Let's go over. Yeah, comment away. We're doing a talk back. So let me write this up here. Anybody have a comment? Talk back. I just hit Youngstown with a everything Youngstown with a at everyone thing. So weed, Middle East. You want to talk about the Middle East first?
Sure, we can talk about the Middle East.
We got.
Okay. So I guess I just as a viewer of the whole thing, it's interesting. I mean, it's terribly sad. It's awful, right?
You are talking about when we say the Middle East, the Gaza Strip, which
Gaza
is
Strip,
located
Israel, Hamas fighting back and forth, right?
Gaza Strip. Let's. You want to pull up a map? This would be interesting.
Yeah, pull up a map. So the Gaza Strip is along the coast, bottom, what would that be? West side of what is currently considered Israel.
All right, let's pull this here.
And what they're fighting back and forth, right? I mean, they've been fighting for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years, right?
So here is the Gaza Strip, just this little piece of land, right?
Yeah. So
And
Gaza's
here
right.
is Israel.
No, zoom in. So Gaza's right there. You see it?
Yeah, this
See
little
right
strip.
there?
Right
So
Elephant.
that is Palestinian or Hamas controlled, and then the rest of Israel is Israel. But like, here's the thing. Like, I understand It's terribly sad, right? People are dying, innocent people are dying. But and Hamas attacked Israel. That's what happened. That's what happened this time. And then Israel retaliated, and people are like, free Palestine. One side's like free Palestine. The other side is Hamas is a bunch of terrorists. In today's day and age, I don't believe anything I hear from anyone, especially the government, especially because America has interests over there, right?
Oh, well, yeah, that's the whole point of it. Yes, 100%.
Right. So we have interest over there. We have interest in Israel, and other countries have interest in Hamas and Palestine and the Palestinians. So my heart is with the Jews. So, but here's the thing. So it's interesting to see the freaking pawns, all the people over here decide that they're going to take a side and take a stand. As always, with every freaking topic, you take a side, right? So you say, I'm with the Jews, I'm with the Palestinians, free Palestine.
Right.
That part of the world has been fighting for thousands of years over that Holy Land, because there are 3 of the world's most popular religions originated in that Holy Land.
Judaism, Christianity, Muslims.
Islam. Yes.
Islam,
right.
Muslim.
Islam was literally founded by Muhammad during the fighting, which is why they have what's called jihad, fighting in the name of God. Literally, they have been fighting in that area since the beginning of time. It has gone through the Ottoman Empire. Did you know the Ottoman Empire and took over all of the Middle East? They were an Islamic state. Did you know that, Luke?
Israel?
Ottoman Empire, World War I, Ottoman Empire.
Oh yeah, 100%.
They were Islamic. I didn't even realize they were an Islamic state. They kicked all the Jews left at one point, and then they obviously came back. And Christianity at one time, what they did, the Crusades, they crusaded all the way down to Jerusalem, killed everybody in their wake. There have been wars. It's way more complicated than most people realize. I get so frustrated when people paint it like it's black and white issue. It's not. It's not. And then you have you can go back forever if you want to. Like Hamas fired the shots, it's their fault. Well, they could say that before it was called Palestine for a long time. You could say that they're right because, and then you could say before that there was another time when they struck. It's like freaking Romeo and Juliet. The family's been fighting forever.
It goes back literally a millennia. Like we're talking times of Jesus Christ goes back. Right. Yeah.
Right. So since the beginning of humanity, they have been fighting there. There is literally nothing like, let's say Israel wins, or let's say Hamas wins, and they decide to change it back to Palestine. What happens? They kick everybody else out. All the Jews get out. Palestine's Palestine again, and you don't let 2 cultures that have two religions that have their Holy Land in that area in. You just kick everybody else out and say, no, we're Islam now. It's not going to work.
Well, that's what they want to do, though. That's what everybody wants to do.
That's what the Jews want to do too. Kick all the Muslims out. It's Israel. It's what at this point, I honestly think the only thing you can do to get them to stop fighting is you literally have all the countries in the world say, listen, you're done. You're done fighting. You're done. Yeah. Get together, get your leaders together, figure out what we're going to call this little area. We're not going to call it Israel. We're not going to call it Palestine. Figure out what we're going to call it. It's Switzerland 2.0. There's no fighting anymore.
But the problem is you have radicals. That's the problem. Right. It's like Hamas isn't a state, even though it could be backed.
They are in control of Gaza. They are in control.
Well, right. But I'm saying they're not a state where you're going to, hey, let's call a truce. You understand what I'm saying? They are literally a
what you'd have to do in what you'd have to do honestly is you would have to cut off trade with them completely. All of them. and say, we'll save your women and children, but you guys get together, get your leaders together and figure out what we're going to do. There will be peace in this area. It's way bigger than, I understand why it's bigger than just two people fighting, because it's a holy land for millions and millions and millions and millions of people across the world. So it has to be Switzerland. You can't have one person, or you can't have one team win.
I just don't think it'll happen.
You can't have one team win and then say, you know what, all these other people aren't allowed back anymore. It's literally a holy land for so many people. You have to make it like, this is a peaceful area. There's no fighting here ever again. And it's just how it's got to be. The world has to decide that is Switzerland. Sorry, there's no more fighting here. It's been too long. It's been over 2,000 years of fighting. You can't take a side. You cannot take a side.
I just don't think it would ever happen. I mean, they've been trying to solve this forever. There's no way the radical groups would ever say, okay, let's all go visit the holy, because that's not the point. They're literally preaching to kill the infidels, to remove, and then kill the infidels, get rid of the right. And then the other thing is, even the Jewish people have been said, these people want to kill us, right?
Yeah.
So we can't negotiate. We can't, you know what I mean? So they're trying to kill. I mean, it's just a freaking mess, man.
It's just back and forth, man. It's been like this forever. And both sides claim, they started it because of A, B, C, and D. And it's just not. It's been going on forever. And the thing is, after thousands and thousands and thousands of years of fighting, at what point is fighting part of your culture? What point is like your genetics, your genetics are literally changing you to fight. Like it's just built into your freaking DNA at this point. After thousands of years, there's no living normal.
Yeah, you're talking literal. I imagine a lot of people have their own thoughts about Biden. It's not just Biden. It's every people. All people send money elsewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm tired. Since 1948, O'Keel, we talked about this. Before 1948, in the early I'm responding.
Yeah, no, my bad.
In the early 1900s, O'Keel, the Ottoman Empire had complete control of that area. They were a Muslim state, they were an Islamic state, and they kicked all the Jews out. So, since 1948, that's literally the tiniest sliver of time when it comes to fighting. 1948, there were
9,000 years.
There are 1,948 years of them fighting back and forth. Before that, the freaking religions were founded on fighting. So what changed? They've been going back and forth forever, man. And what changed was America stepping in and freaking backing Israel, which isn't cool.
We should have had O'Keel come on here. He'll have you guys go back and forth.
Right. No, we talked about this today.
Who profits from war, Isaac?
Who profits? O'Keel. Let's say Hamas wins. Who profits from Hamas winning? Who profits from that? Do you know? Do you know who backs the other side?
Well, you have
all of the Russia and China. That's who wins. So right now, it's literally just a proxy war for both sides.
Well, it's pawns, is what it is.
Yeah, right.
It's
so
pawns.
We sit back and I think that's 100% wrong. I think it's 100% wrong for the United States to be any part of it, but it's 100% wrong for Russia and China too as well. So, what if we step off the gas? They're going to step on. And Mark says the religion were found by the king and queen, aka their leaders. The sad thing is that it is religion. It's the saddest part of religion, that literally people are so set in their ways because it's the topic of religion. The people there are so set in their ways and they think that God is guiding them. And it's just sad and it's messed up in every way.
Yeah. No, it's, dude, you know, you did your stuff.
It's the most important thing, no matter what, is not to be Islamophobic. Oh my gosh. Graham, stop watching Fox News, my guy.
I don't think there's anything about, let's see here.
It doesn't
matter.
It's not religion anymore. It's pure. The Jews, they are indoctrinated and taught this from birth. How do you stop?
She's talking about the Islams. or the Muslims.
We're so you don't
But
think
not all. But the thing is, though, it's not all Muslims. It's the radicals. That's the problem. That's the thing that kind of drives me crazy. You can't throw everybody into one thing. It's like the Republicans and the Democrats in our area. They're not all radical. You know what I mean?
Rose, at some point too, it's like at some point too, I'm sure there have been bad Jews too that have killed, like they bombed the living shit out of Gaza. Like it was brutal. Mm-hmm. So it does go both ways. And now the thing is too, with like the bombing of that hospital and the bombing of the church, I just don't trust anything that I hear with, like, if you're dealing with Hamas, which is a terrorist organization, and they're trying to blame it on Islam, or they're trying to blame it on Israel. Who do you believe? Do I really believe that Israel? What's the benefit that Israel has in terms of optics for bombing a hospital and bombing a church?
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, I don't.
So I think it benefits Hamas more to blame the bombing on Israel and say they're doing terrible things when it's really them bombing their own people, which is horrible. But,
well, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with that whole thing, man. It's freaking crazy. Anybody else on this topic? Anybody other than Graham Mitchell?
Graham, I think the Jews should have less land in the Middle East since they have so much land.
Tossing stuff out to try.
Are you tossing grenades? You better be careful. That sounds pretty anti-Semitic right there,
Mr. Bitcher. All right, I got one. Can we talk about one? Ready? You know what we're going to talk about, don't you?
Yeah.
Dear Isaac, I have great news.
After 2 weeks of hunting, the sharpshooters in Mill Creek Park, the number of deer harvested has reached 94, including 64 by hunters selected throughout the Ohio Department of Natural Resources lottery and 30 by the U.S. Department. Is that enough? Did we kill enough?
No, dude, it goes on until March. So 30 of the 94 were the sharpshooters, right? Right?
Okay.
So the sharpshooters went into the golf course and took out 30 deer in like one night. Okay.
Yeah.
The 64 were hunters sporadically placed around the outskirts of Mill Creek Park, right?
Yeah.
Like the different preserves and stuff like that. So the hunters have taken care of 64. You know what that says to me? 2 weeks. 2 weeks. The hunters have gotten 64 deer. You know what that means? There's too many freaking deer. That backs up the numbers of Mill Creek Park because hunting is a 10% success rate. Did you know that? Anytime somebody goes hunting, you have a 10% chance of getting a deer.
Okay.
That means to me, 64 deer we're taking in 2 weeks. There are too many freaking deer in that park. End of story. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Yeah. I saw when I was driving to the gym this morning, and then I saw you posted about it. I saw exterminate the Mill Creek deer.
Did you see it?
Mill Creek deer sign this morning. Right. Getting on 680 from the South Avenue Extension entrance. I was like, was that a exterminate the Mill Creek deer sign?
They put him up by Ruley Brothers. They put him up by 680. I don't know who it is.
And
I got messages. I have no idea. I got messages that like, we know it was you and your brother. I was like, I had nothing to do with it.
Dude, I'll tell you what. I did get a chuckle out of it. I was driving this morning and I was laughing.
But now I kind of want to sell them. I want to sell some call the deer signs. I really do.
Dude, they use the word exterminate. Exterminate.
And the best part is, like, just reading these posts and these comments from these freaking people. They're calling like hunters murderers, and and it's like, no, they're not people.
So they killed 60 deer in the main downtown park?
No. So 30 deer. So again, this is the way this works. There are the north of 224. So in the main part of the park, like golf course and up all the way.
Yeah.
They took 30 deer out of there. The sharpshooters. They went in with night vision scopes in the middle of the night, wiped out 30 deer.
Yeah.
The 64 is the lotto. Every week there's like, I want to say every week there's like 30 people or something like that go into random spots of the park.
Yeah.
Not north. So like, what's a good spot? That place down off of 165 by your house, on the way to your house, by Uncle Pete's.
Oh yeah, the preservation.
The preservation place. 2 hunters are back there.
Okay.
I went to Vickers, the Vickers Park down by Bear Brothers. I was in there. I didn't get a deer, but Vickers, like there's different places down there where they're hunting. Those are the places where they're getting 64 people. And here's the thing. The deer people are like, oh, they're tame deer. Those parts of the park, they're not tame. They don't see people.
No, those parts definitely aren't.
No. Now the part, I would say the part in the main part, north, they're used to people, right?
Right.
But the reason they're used to people and the reason they're going up to people and the reason they're tame is these psychopaths are feeding deer in their backyard. Like,
do we know how many deer are in the park total?
Well, that's the whole argument. Remember, they said it was 357 per square mile or whatever it was.
So if that's the case, though, they didn't do enough.
They're going to keep going. It's not done.
How long are they going to call for?
March.
They're going to go all winter.
But the sharpshooters are done.
But they only killed 30.
Right. But the hunters are going to keep going.
Why didn't the hunters kill more?
Because it's only been 2 weeks.
No, the sharpshooters. Why?
That was just the agreement. The agreement was 30 deer for the sharpshooters. That was it.
Oh.
That's all they're doing.
It's kind of a waste of sharpshooters. I thought we were going to get a couple hundred out of the sharpshooters.
Well, I'm curious to see how the deer go, because you got to realize you still have the rut coming.
Yeah.
Right? Where there's going to be deer freaking. That's when you see like deer everywhere the next month. You got to be careful driving around because the males are going to be looking to make babies, right? Yeah. So these big bucks are going to be out during the day.
Are there any like posts from the Save the Deer people that are like, yeah, my deer died. I haven't seen my deer in a while.
Yes. Yeah. They're insane. Like
there have been
posts, I haven't seen my deer, or the typical, I drove through the park, I didn't see any deer today, they're all dead. Like, it's just extreme insanity. I can't. I cut my fake account off of there because I can't watch it anymore because they're just so insane.
Hit by a car, but it was still alive. The other day I was coming down 224 and there was a deer just laying in the road right before the park entrance before you get to the Plaza Pool. Might have got hit by a car, but was still alive.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you're crossing 224 right there. And, like in that spot where the Mill Creek Golf Course is, and then there's those trees, there's deer crossing there all the time. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So,
sure. I mean, that makes total sense.
That's wild, though. They're gonna keep on all. I wonder if it'll do anything next year. It'll be interesting to analyze the data,
Oh, I'm curious. Well, they said they can go for the next 10 years. Hey, what did you think of me on WFMJ the other day?
I saw it once. I think you did good. Was that yesterday, right? Or today?
All the days blend together. It was early, is what I know. It was like
today. It was this morning.
No, yesterday morning.
Yesterday morning? I think you did good.
Thanks.
My only thing is you got to be careful when you're saying rates. You're like 8 to 8.5. I know you said, well, it depends on credit. I wouldn't even say that.
Dude, that's fine.
Red flags.
I said red flags. I said that. I said 8 to 8.5, depending on your credit score. You know what I mean? That's fine. I'll tell you what. That is early 6:40 to get down there, take a shower, dress up. I had to put freaking real clothes on. That is early, man.
Where'd you get a Go Mortgage shirt at? I don't even have one of those.
I ordered it.
Oh, you ordered one?
Yeah, I ordered it.
I don't even have one of those.
All right, you want to talk about weed a little bit?
Yeah, let's talk about weed. What do you want to talk about?
Talk about weed. All right, I had an article pulled up here. Issue 2 WFMJ. Hold on, let's go to our friends at WFMJ. All right, let me pull this little story up for you. All right, this is our boys from WFMJ. Hey, are we going to smoke weed live on the air if this turns legal?
I'm not going to smoke because I got bad lungs, but I'm going to eat a shitload of edibles and start talking about how I'm leaving the planet.
Along with my father, Fred, my son, Patrick, and my
Hey,
daughter,
it's the
Maisie,
Window
our
World,
goal
guys.
is to help
Remember the guy
families
was trolling
improve
us the other
their
day for
homes.
Window
Yeah.
World?
They don't stand behind their windows.
Not
They
only
stand
do
on
we
them.
stand behind our windows,
We stand on them.
That
a
doesn't
month
make
away from
any
election
sense.
day. And if you're planning on
Nobody
your
ever
polls, you'll
stands
find
on
issue
window.
2
Why is
on the
that an
ballot.
Yeah, it's a
advertising
law that
thing?
would allow the recreational use of marijuana in the state of Ohio.
Isaac, you said
So
it
what
before,
does
say
this
it
mean
again.
for
That
employers
chick
when it
will
comes
not be
to
on
testing
WFMJ
for the
very
drug?
long.
As Leslie
Way
Huff
too pretty
explains,
for
businesses
young
may
people.
decide to update
Way
their
too pretty to be on
policies.
WFMJ.
They'll have
Right.
options to maintain a safe workplace.
If Ohioans vote yes on issue 2 in November, using marijuana recreationally will be legal, but it'll be up to employers to decide if use of the drug will be tolerated or affect drug testing policies.
That employers need to reevaluate whether or not there's an acceptable amount of
Oh, this is
marijuana that
about
can be
legal.
found in
This is
someone's
about
drug test to make a decision whether or not to terminate.
Oh, this is
Fiore
about
says
jobs.
legalizing
Right.
cannabis could mean more positive tests, but not necessarily more people working under the influence. That means employers may need to consider how they can make sure are not using cannabis
Obviously.
at work or before they come in. This basically leaves them 3 options. One would be maintaining their zero tolerance drug related policies. The drawback here is that they could have a harder time finding applicants. If that's the case, they could eliminate or modify their existing testing policies to eliminate cannabis, much like many employers don't test for alcohol. But another alternative might be to shift the focus from testing what's in someone's system, which may linger for weeks after the fact, and instead coming up with a new standard aimed at determining whether an employee is actually impaired.
So that approach definitely presents challenges. Like I said, cannabis can be in the system for up to 30 days. So looking at potentially maybe a level of how much cannabis is in the system.
Advocators for
God.
issue 2 are using data from other states to support their stance.
And the reality is very clear. Study after study confirms that workers in states that regulate the sale of marijuana to adults are at no greater risk than workplace injury.
With more local news, I'm Leslie Huff.
Like,
Hey.
I'm pretty sure they
Hold
don't
on.
test for alcohol. Get hurt at work. Yeah. Dude, I'm pretty sure, like, if you show up to work and you smell like alcohol, or if you show up to work and you're high as shit and you smell like weed, you're gonna get fired. So, like, if somebody smokes weed on the weekend, or if somebody drinks over the weekend,
Right.
like, I specifically remember coming into work on Monday as an early 20s guy and being like, dude, I had so much fun over the weekend. I still can feel it. I feel
Yeah.
terrible. Like,
Yeah.
you still do your work, you're still fine. Like, as long as you're not actively high or
Yeah.
actively drunk, like, why does it matter if it's been in your system for 25 days? Like,
Hey,
I
Isaac.
never under.
Nicole said, imagine getting so high you're standing on your windows.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Imagine getting so high, you're like,
Yeah.
you know what we should do for our window company? You know,
You
we
got to
should-
compare it to alcohol. I think that's the best comparison, right?
we should advertise and stand on the windows. Normally, everybody stands behind them, but we should stand on top of them. I think that's a really good idea. And then you just say that.
I am so high right now. I want to stand on my windows.
You should just say we stand on them, not just behind windows. Isn't that so cool?
Not push them. I don't want to push them. I want to stand on them.
Let them stand on them.
What is the school system will never go for it? I don't want my 12-year-old smoking weed.
Well, yeah, like, you don't think that people already have ways around, like, all it does, it's like the old theory of, like, all locks do is keep honest thieves out.
Yeah.
So if people really want to get into your house, they'll get into your house whether you have
Right.
locks or not.
Right.
So, like, all it does is all the legal system now does is just stop people from getting weed legally. They're still going to smoke weed whether you want them to or not.
Right.
You're just going to find creative ways around your drug testing.
Like people do now already.
Yeah. So, like, people are smoking weed if they want to partake, they're partaking. Like there's nothing you can do to stop them. And then I'm sure there are teachers out there that smoke weed. I know nobody wants to admit it that Poland is so good. And Poland is, I have never met a person in college, a college student at YSU when I was there and partying in Akron and partying in Cleveland that went to Poland and wasn't an active pothead.
Yeah.
Like Poland, in my eyes, was known as being full of potheads because they all go to the park or they all go to Poland woods as a rite of growing up in Poland, and they all get high in those woods. That's my theory. It's a rite of passage in Poland is to go to the woods and get stoned. I'm telling you, dude. I tell you that happens.
We don't. I'm curious. So there's I think there's more to this too. There's so much money at stake for the state.
Holly says in the 80s it was known for it. In the 2000s, I literally never met a Poland kid who wasn't a pothead.
Yeah, people don't go. Look, Nicole says people don't go to work or work high or drunk.
I'm sure some are, and if you're showing up to work drunk and high, then obviously you should be fired. Because especially if you're operating machinery or hanging out with kids, or whatever. But like, there are definitely people who are good at their job and go in on Monday hungover.
Right. Well, I was reading. Let me see if I can find this article. So I was reading an article. It was very interesting, and it was from the police, saying the police do not support issue 2. Okay,
which is weed.
Okay. They don't support issue 2 because they said it will be harder to arrest people.
Okay.
Because right now they pull somebody over, they can smell weed.
Okay.
And it is a way for them to pull them out of the car because it's a suspicion, right? Because you can't just search your car, right?
Okay.
So clock goes up, I smell weed. They said most of the time when they smell weed, they pull them out. There's more drugs. There's drugs, not just weed. There's guns. There's drugs. There's cocaine. You know what I mean? There's heavier stuff in there. They said eliminating this will cause issues for the police. Okay.
I will say my 2 cents. Absolutely support the police. I have cousins who are police officers. One of my good friends is a police officer. Do a better job of, like, I don't want to give the police more reason to pull people over and like have an excuse to yank me out of my car. I'd rather give them less. If you can actively see that somebody's operating under the influence and they're high as shit, then you can do it. Yes. But like if somebody's being a good driver and they have nothing on them and they smell like weed and there's nothing you can do, great. Sounds good. No, you shouldn't pull somebody out of their car because it smells like weed in their car. Sorry, figure something else out and do your job better. Like, I don't care.
I agree. There's more, dude. 100%. 100%. I've learned.
I don't care.
You know, I'm on grand jury duty. Okay.
Yeah.
Grand jury duty. Use your turn signals. Make sure your lights work. Make sure you have, because every time somebody gets pulled over in these cases, it's because they didn't use their turn signal. It's because, you know what I'm saying? They, you know, now again, they end up busting these dudes and they have like freaking car loaded full of guns and drugs and stuff. Right. But another thing I noticed, and again, this is just my theory, it's my opinion. The police in Mahoning County and the counties will lose. They're going to gain tax money, but the police are going to lose money. Do you know what money they're going to lose? By making issue 2 legal.
What money?
By making weed legal.
What money?
So I learned when a cop goes, and let's say you're a drug dealer.
Yes.
I pull you over and you have a big bag of cocaine.
Okay.
And you have $5,000 in cash.
Yeah. From selling guns.
That $5,000 can get seized.
Yeah.
And guess where it goes?
To the police.
To the police departments.
It's all about money. The world runs on money.
To the police. Now, it's fine. I get it. I 100% support the police.
Yeah.
But there is a financial reason why they would be concerned, because they're going to make less arrests, right?
Yeah.
Less reasons to pull people over. Therefore, less money goes in, less. You don't understand?
Yeah.
That's a
The other
big
thing,
issue.
the other thing too is, as Nicole says here, putting people in
Yeah, that's
jail for
crazy.
weed. That's a lot. It costs a lot of money to keep people in jail. And if
Yeah.
we're putting stupid ass potheads in jail, literally for smoking weed, that's a waste of money and a waste of tax dollars for us to feed somebody who's in jail for stupid weed. Like, that is so
Right.
dumb.
Steph has a good point. There's a difference between having an ounce of weed and having a giant bag of weed,
Well,
right?
like what, Stephanie, what are people that, even if you're selling weed, like even if you're selling a shitload of weed to people, what is weed really going to do? And don't give me the bullshit gateway drug. People who smoke weed sit there, do absolutely nothing, and eat snacks. They're not hurting anybody. Nobody takes a crap load of weed and says, let's go shoot somebody. No, they don't do that. They say, let's sit here, let's chill and smoke weed and do absolutely nothing. That is not harmful to anybody but themselves.
Let me ask you a question. Is weed worse than alcohol?
I would say it's not as bad as alcohol because you're not affecting your liver. Like, alcohol shreds your liver and kidneys, shreds it. And I think it kills more brain cells too.
Well, I'm just saying, you don't hear a lot about, like you just said, this is back to what you just said. You don't hear a lot of people, a real high guy went in, got some guns and shot up a bank, right?
Right. No.
A drunk guy will run his car into a thing and shoot. You know what I'm saying? It's weird how that works.
Well, the other thing too is you don't hear any stories of a guy being super high and driving and killing somebody. You hear somebody who was so drunk that they couldn't operate a vehicle. You never hear about that with weed. You never hear about that.
Yeah, because you don't want to do it. You get high, you want to go to sleep. That's
you're not going anywhere. You're just chilling. You're chilling.
Yeah, I want to go to sleep. I just want to go to sleep.
Weed can cure a hangover. Okay, Nicole, we're getting into pothead territory. How much are you smoking, Nicole?
How do you know that, Nicole? How do you know that?
I don't think that works like that.
Keith says when you smoke weed, you bilch it. You bilch it when you're high.
They bilch it. They just eat snacks and put together Legos. Like, how is that? How is that bad? You cannot convince me that it's bad. It's like, no pothead should be in jail. No pothead should be in jail. Like, just let them have their weed.
I'm gonna go.
And at this point, it's so far gone that the conservatives are like, yeah, it's not bad. The conservatives are like, yeah, it's not bad. We've been smoking it for years. We just try and make fun of people who smoke it, but like, yeah, we've been smoking weed.
Do you think it'll pass?
I think at this point, it's gonna pass because even the news stations, like the hardcore Republican news stations, are saying it's happening whether you like it or not. You might as well get out of the way.
I'm curious too, because if you think about it, is it who's against it? Is it the elderly? No, because like who's against the church? Like, who's against it?
I think the police are against it, like you said. Some of the police guys are against it, and then there's going to be like some of the old school people that grew up with what president was it that started the oh my god, I can think. Reagan and his wife were like totally against all drugs. Some of the old school like Reaganites are probably still going to be like, yeah, no weed because all drugs are bad. And what was it, Title IX? They said that like weed is like the same thing as heroin.
Yeah, it was crazy. Carter
Reagan was just say no. Yep.
Well, and here's the fun fact with that. So, Isaac, this is before your time. My whole theory of that, if you do some research on that, the Just Say No campaign, we had a lot of problems in Central America, right, with the drug cartels and like Noriega and the different stuff. They were all shipping up weed, like these communist dictatorship. That was the war on drugs. It had to do with drugs, but it had to do more about the cartels and the money getting siphoned in and that kind of stuff.
So this would stop it. The government likes it because you tax it. The FDA, even though the FDA is a friggin' joke, will be able to stop it from being laced. So it's not going to be laced with shit if you buy it at a legitimate place. And it's going to be safer because you're not going to the hood
Right.
to see your dealer to get it.
You ever buy drugs? Have you ever bought drugs?
No, weed was always like, hey, somebody smoke this. So okay, sure, let me get a puff. But I always had bad lungs, so I never really liked smoking. But I recently tried weed gummies, and that was an experience. Yet oxy and opioids illegal and kill. Yes, exactly. That is, dude. Painkiller on Netflix. Holy
Painkiller.
crap.
That's the one I gotta watch. That's gotta go on my list, right?
Holy crap. When Oxycontin is being sold to people who have moderate amounts of pain, and it's literally heroin in tablet form, but that's legal because it's because Big Pharma paid to make it so. That's fine. Like, that's not okay. It's the same freaking thing. Yeah, that's a good show. It was great. It was great.
I gotta watch that, huh? Jeez, oh man. Yeah, everybody's saying that one.
Yeah. But it's like it's freaking heroin in pill form was Oxycontin, and they caused the opioid epidemic.
Oh, dude, I've read stuff on the opioid act. It's insane. Like,
dude,
with
that
the
show talks about it.
All right, I gotta watch that.
And that one family. So on top of all that, at the very end, they're talking about it, and the family's talking about it, and they're like, okay, they're suing us for $5 billion.
$5 billion?
But what the family's able to do is, or maybe it's million. It might be million. I might be getting the letters confused.
Okay,
but
million makes more sense.
What the family essentially said was like, all we have to do, because we made millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars off of this, all we have to do is pay them and then put a certain amount of money into a bank, an interest-bearing account, and then we'll make all the money right back. It'll be like nothing ever happened. So you need to either greatly increase that amount of money you're charging them, or put people in jail, or it'll just keep happening, because they can just make the money off of the money they they can just get interest off the money they already made.
The weed dealers are going to hate it, Isaac.
They are, which is good. I don't think that's a bad thing.
It'll be cheaper though to buy it off of a dealer, because you're not going to have
to lower their prices. Competition's good. Competition's good.
I mean, they would, right?
Well, the other thing that's gonna happen is
you're guaranteed a better product in a store though, because it's not going to be laced or anything.
Yeah, it's safer. It's way safer.
Yeah,
and
that makes sense.
Now here we go. Take a step back, right? Take a step back and think that also applies to all drugs. That same rule.
What?
You take it away. You take issues. If you make the drug legal, the cartel doesn't have anything to move.
Yeah,
it's safer. And
wait. So are we gonna legalize LSD and weed and shit now?
I think you should legalize psychedelics. I think.
Oh no! Really?
Are we legalizing? I think shrooms, at least, like the same thing. Like, if people are going to do them, they're going to go out and get them. You know what I mean? It's the same.
If you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it regardless.
If you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it. So at least give them a place to do it. If it's not heroin, like heroin and some of those, it's like crack, like crystal meth. But come on, guys, why are you really doing meth? Like, if you're doing meth and you're doing crack, like, you need to think about some things in your life.
Well, at that point, I think you're an addict at that point,
right?
Because the problem is, if you legalize that stuff, are you going to have a bunch of drug dealers running around, or a bunch of druggies running around?
With what, psychedelics?
No, meth.
Oh yeah, no. If you legalize meth, I think there's going to be some serious issues. Like, but I'm talking psychedelics, or like.
Well, why not meth? Why just psychedelics? Why can't we do meth?
Because meth is different. Like, there's just
heroin.
A difference between
cocaine.
Somebody,
cocaine?
You can't use meth to like solve your problems. Like, you smoke weed to chill out. You don't take meth to chill out. You take psychedelics and mushrooms to like find yourself or get all giggly. It's like you don't take meth to do that. You take meth to get like out of your mind. Like you have serious issues.
Luke's production at work through the roof for some reason. All of a sudden, I mean, he's like working 48 hours a day right now, or 48 hours.
Well, when you're on your when you're on your pill for weight loss. Is that like speed? Isn't that the same thing as like speed?
The Phetamine that I was on.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that anymore because that
hey,
was
what's
not
the
normal.
what's the full scientific term for meth? You know? Methamphetamine.
Yeah,
what's
methamphetamine.
Doesn't that sound similar?
It does, but it's not. I looked at it.
It's not. It's just chemically similar.
No, it's chemically similar. So what he's talking about is when I was, I was for about 3 months last year. I went to the weight loss clinic and in Youngstown, Mercy Health, and they put me on something called Phetamine. And Google it. It worked. I mean, it worked amazing, man. But I was amped up. They made me I had to like take my blood pressure every day. It was an adjustment. I mean, it was like I said, it was like
speed.
How do you like pre-workout?
Yeah.
Like a pre-workout?
Yeah.
But it lasts like 6 hours.
Did it make you want to go do aggressive stuff? Like,
huh?
Did it make you want to go do aggressive stuff?
No,
like
I wasn't aggressive. I just had I had energy. It like pumped you up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like when yes, here it is. Phetamine.
It is like speed. Phetamine. Laugh my ass off. It is an amphetamine. Exactly. When I travel to the Middle East and I have to stop taking it for 4 days before I travel, I can't even have it in my system. If they would piss test me, I would be in jail.
Really?
Speed.
Really?
It's just illegal drugs.
I stopped taking. I have some, and I stopped taking it because I was having problems sleeping.
Yeah.
Because like I take it in the morning and I'd still be amped up at night. Like I was like, okay, this can't be good. So
right.
Yeah, there's
but
no
it's weird how the world works because it's like people are still going to get drugs whether you make them legal or not. I think that if you did make certain drugs legal, there would be a serious issue for a time where an increased amount of people are going to start trying it and doing it.
Yeah.
So like if you're not careful and you just legalize friggin' crack or meth,
I'd probably
like or like heroin. You know, like
I don't think I'd try heroin. I'd try crack.
Like even Oxycontin, like that ruined people's lives because they didn't have any oxys, and then they're like, okay, let's go get some heroin. I need something to take the edge off.
AD just said, look what AD just said. Legalize cocaine too, so everyone can be skinny without fighting over it.
Yeah, Ozempic. Yeah, Ozempic.
What's Ozempic?
Ozempic's the the diabetic drug that's making all of the famous people in Hollywood are taking it because it totally gets rid of your appetite.
I know what it is. I looked up it. You know how much that costs?
$2,000, I think.
$1,400 a month. $1,400 a month. Insurance doesn't cover it. Yeah. $1,400 a month. Freaking.
So you have to pay $1,400 a month, or you just get rid of everything in your house and you eat a block of cheese every 8 hours. That'll do it too.
Semaglutide weekly skinny shot. Yep, there it is.
It's an insulin blocker. Yeah, it's a diabetic drug.
What it's doing then, if it's eliminating your up and down sugar high. You know what I mean? Your cravings.
Yeah,
right?
your cravings.
That makes sense. That's the Phetamine did the same damn thing. It like eliminates. You know, like when you sit down on a couch and you're like, God, I could eat something, and you know you're not hungry.
Yeah.
That's what that felt like on Phetamine. Like
now that leads me into my other issue. You want to talk about abortion? I think people are still going to get abortions. I think people are still going to get abortions whether they're legal or not.
Oh, 100%.
So I don't think that is something that you should make illegal.
You're going to get an abortion in a freaking back room, or you're going to try and do it yourself.
Right. So I don't think you can make it illegal. I really don't. What you are allowed you are 100% allowed to think it's wrong, and you can do everything that you can to try and convince people not to have them. But if they want to have it, it's better for them to do the surgery somewhere safe than it is for them to go to a back alley.
That's a good way to look at it.
And I mean, it only will make it like worse. It really will.
That is a very good point, Isaac.
I really do,
because you always hear what you always hear is pro-life, pro-choice, pro-life being save the babies, don't kill the babies.
Yeah,
right.
You can think whatever you want. It's the same thing with like taking sides. You can think whatever you want. I don't care. That's fine. You can try and convince as many people as you want to not have an abortion. But if you make it illegal, people are still going to get them, and it's only going to be more dangerous.
That's a good point. If you're some 17 or 18-year-old girl that got knocked up, right?
Yeah.
You can't legally go somewhere to get it done.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, right. I know you're going to freaking coat hanger is what you're going to do.
Yeah, which is horrible. Which is horrible.
And then they're risking themselves.
And even more traumatizing than if the girl were to just go get, some pill.
That's good. Very good point. That is I didn't really look at it that way.
And we're two idiot guys who've never had to deal with anything like this, but I just don't think there's any way to make it.
Oh boy.
safe.
That's a deep. Holly says, times being where they are right now, where do you see our world going in the future? That's a tough one.
Have you ever heard the awful joke where a guy goes to the store and he gets condoms and he puts them up on the desk or he puts them up on the checkout counter, and the lady's like, oh, it's going to be $15 or whatever. And he's like, oh shit, I can't afford that. And then she's like, okay, I don't know what to do. I can't help you, sir. He's like, oh, I'll be right back. And he takes the condoms back and he comes back with a coat hanger.
Oh my God, no.
It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Look at all the kids available for adoption. That's not traumatizing.
It's all traumatizing. It's all traumatizing. It's all awful.
Yeah. Don't say that, Keith. I can't believe we just put that up there. Isaac, I want to ask you this. Where's the world going? You got 8 minutes to tell me where the world's going.
I think that the United States is at a point now where we're making so many enemies, and like Brexit, you heard of, or not Brexit, but all the different countries that are getting together and starting to make their own currency and stuff like that, because they realize that, the United States has too much power.
Yeah.
We're screwing up so bad that other countries are getting together and saying, it's time for a change of power. Something's got to give in our country, and there are serious issues. And I think that where we're going is not good if it keeps in the trajectory that it's going. Not good at all.
Wow. I think.
Yep.
I think we are coming to a precipice, if you will, in the United States, right? I feel things changing, if that makes sense, where the people are getting tired of the government. Does that make sense? I'm not saying a full-on rule, right? But this goes back to like Trump winning, right? Why did he win? Because people wanted something different, right?
Right, exactly.
Most people. That is where we're going. And I think eventually someone is going to take this place and turn it upside down. Does that make sense?
Right. But when that happens in the societies of the past, it normally turns into a dictatorship or authoritarian country.
Oh, I think we're headed that way already, honest to God. I mean, if we're not there
already. The way you fix it, though, truly, is the best thing about social media is that people can communicate quickly. We know what works. The problem is that, like right now, the media is used so much to divide people and to take sides. And there's so much influence from both sides. Somebody has to, like an independent, a third party person has to win and say, using logic and winning over everybody else, like, listen, don't take sides. realize that it doesn't have to be a team thing. It can be literally just like logic. And I think if that person can win without getting assassinated, that could change everything.
Right. Yeah, that's fair.
But big money will probably kill him.
Yeah, as soon as that happens. That's what it is at the end times. Something has changed, and I think it's possible. Especially so something that's so end times. You ready for my theory on that? I think every generation in the history of man thinks the end of the world is coming in their generation.
You think it's like a human thing?
I think it's
they see themselves aging and they see their end coming, so they just want it to be end of times because they're encountering their end.
And it's like this. It's like every generation is like, I can't believe the new generation is the way it is. The world's never going to make it, right? The people aren't going to make it. Our parents say that about us. I'm sure our parents said that about them. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I just think that's just the way it works. And the people, and so on and so forth, through millennia, it's always like, our world's never going to make it because of the kids, right? Or because of the new generation. They're not like us. That's my take on that. I think the closest we've come to the end of the world was the Cuban Missile Crisis, where the nukes almost went off.
Yeah,
that's I don't think we're there. I don't think we're at that point yet. I am getting old, Stephanie, but I'm not as old as you.
You know what the whole Middle East thing reminds me of is it's like you have the Middle East.
Your generation
ate Tide Pods. Right, exactly. But the Middle East and like religion, it just makes me so sad because it's like all religions are supposed to be something that is about peace and making humanity better. And it's doing nothing but making a giant amount of people fight and kill each other. And it's like, that is not what religions of all kinds were put into place for
years. That's how religion has been forever.
Yeah. And it's terrible. It's honestly terrible.
Forever. They say, don't judge. Don't do this. Don't do that. Right? And that's all they do.
Right.
I mean, shit, don't you remember I had a freaking super religious guy call my church when I made a parody video in front of the demon circus? Right. And that guy, the guy who did it, his thing said, "Oh, love and don't judge." Like that was literally, I'm like,
right.
It's
hypocrisy. But the problem is like, you can't get rid of religion, because if you get rid of religion, then not get rid of religion. People have to have morality, and they have to be God-fearing people isn't necessarily a bad thing, because it makes sure people don't go out and do crazy shit because they have nothing to lose.
Right.
Like even Napoleon said that when he was taking over Europe. Like, religion and Christianity stops the poor from consuming the rich, because Jesus' thing was like, oh, it's hard for a rich man to get into heaven, so they have no problem with staying poor.
Right.
And you have a lot of people turning from religion now, and they're like, oh, if we just murder a couple billionaires, all of our problems are solved. It's like, that doesn't exist with religion.
Wow. Yeah, that's true too, huh?
You know what I mean?
Well, it keeps, you don't want to go to hell, right? So be good.
Yeah, so be good. But then now you have society turning away from religion, and it's like, okay, you take Bill Gates, Elon Musk, and a couple billionaires, you kill them, and you take all their money, and you give it all to the poor, and you fix the debt. You fix the issue with people not having food. You just kill a couple people.
Well, you want to have a good podcast sometime? Let's talk about religion. Let's talk about our beliefs in God sometime. What do you believe in? Do you believe that there's a higher power? You want to have that talk sometime?
Do you want to talk about religion?
No, just is there God? How about that for not tonight? How about that for a topic?
I mean, that would be a good one. At the end of the day, it just comes down, like we've always talked about, it comes down to faith. Like, there's no way of knowing. And that's the fun. And like Fred Schuster always said, there's no way of knowing. But what is, especially when it's a religion like Christianity, where you're following Jesus and Jesus is good. There's nothing wrong with following Jesus. What happens if he's wrong? If he's wrong, he goes to the same place as all the atheists go, and it's over. But if he's right, he's in a much better spot. Which I don't think you should believe in your faith so that you get the reward at the end. You should believe in your faith to be a good person.
This is the best thing I have right here as far as religion. Okay, can I play this real fast?
I don't care. Go ahead.
This is the best clip from a movie that I can think of the conversation. Okay, but again, I think we need to continue this another time. So here we go. Ready? Let's put this up here. Remember this one? Signs.
Oh yeah. Signs. Good film.
That's awesome. What's my favorite?
Some people probably thinking this is the end of the world.
That's true.
Do you think it could be?
Yes.
How can you say that?
That wasn't the answer you wanted.
Couldn't you pretend to be like you used to be? Give me some comfort.
Great movie.
He used to be a priest, right?
Yeah, he was a priest.
Down into two groups.
Two groups.
When they experience something lucky, group number one sees it as more than luck, more than coincidence. They see it as a sign, evidence that there is someone up there watching out for them. Group number two sees it as just pure luck, a happy turn of chance. I'm sure the people in group number two are looking at those 14 lights in a very suspicious way. For them, this situation is a 50-50. Could be bad. Could be good. But deep down, they feel that whatever happens, they're on their own. And that fills them with fear.
Right.
Yeah, there are those people. But there's a whole lot of people in the group number one. And they see those 14 lights. They're looking at a miracle. And deep down, they feel that whatever's going to happen, there'll be someone there to help them. And that fills them with hope. See, what you have to ask yourself is, what kind of person are you? Are you the kind that sees signs, sees miracles? Or do you believe that people just get lucky?
Joaquin Phoenix is awesome.
Or look at the question this way. Is it possible that there are no coincidences?
Dude, how good is that?
Great film. Great film.
So that to me right there is like the best way to describe people. Are you a man that believes in coincidences, or that everything happens for a reason and there's a higher power looking away? Let's swing away. Swing away, Meryl.
Right. Swing away.
See?
What was I gonna say?
See? I want
another thing too is they I think the Vietnam veterans said there were no atheists in Vietnam because you'd be in a fight or somebody be in a freaking foxhole or whatever, and they'd be praying to every, if they're dying, they're praying to every god that's out there.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, get me through this. So there's no atheists in war.
Yeah. Holly, I don't know if you've ever seen that movie or not. Watch that movie. It is top. It might be my favorite movie ever. It's close.
It's a great film.
It's that one or the one with Matthew McConaughey. What's it? Interstellar.
Interstellar's freaking good.
Those two, Signs and Interstellar, are my two favorite movies ever.
Rage Against the Dying of the Light.
Go out into the dark.
Rage Against the Dying of the Light.
All right.
Do not go fondly into the long night.
Such a good movie.
Great.
Oh my God, you've never seen that movie?
Signs.
Mel Gibson and Joaquin. Go watch it tonight and message me. It is the best movie.
And it's about aliens too. That's what's fun.
It's about aliens. It's about aliens. It's got aliens in it, but it's way deeper than that.
Right.
Watch it to the end. You will, at the end, you will get goosebumps. It is
follows a pastor who lost his faith and living in his house with his son and his daughter
and his brother.
Three kids, his brother and his two kids.
And
he's lost his faith because his wife died. And it's just so good. Such a good thing.
Hey, Isaac.
Dan, I love you. Before you block me, Dan, I just want you to know I love you. And I love you. And come on the show. I'd love to talk to you someday.
Martini.
But you can block me out.
We're ending on that. Dan Martini, go visit the Federal. He's downtown. We're ending on
go support Dan Martini downtown. You want some food this weekend? You want an awesome burger? Go see Dan Martini downtown. Get a burger. Tell him the MLO Bros sent you, and that Isaac. Just grab your burger off of Dan and say Isaac said he loves you, and then blow him a kiss and walk away.
Yeah. Hey, next week on Tuesday, we have Chief Wilson's coming on.
Chief Wilson. That's the Poland Township
Police Department. Chief Wilson.
From
Poland Township Police.
Poland Township. Okay. I want the village.
Yeah, listen. Remind me to ask him about the drug thing. Let's see what he has to say.
Yeah.
And then
and I know the village got a lot of money from their police chief because he was undercover for a long time, wasn't he?
Yeah, I'm sure. So all right. As a veteran myself in Vietnam, Vietnam veteran.
His child, myself included, and my children and his grandchildren all have their own choice of religion.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. If you guys can meet my rider, oh, come on. Okay, so your rider, what needs to be at the studio? I'll get you jelly beans. Do you need do you need like
what do you need?
What are we talking here? I mean, it's in Poland. Do you need like hookers? Like, what are we talking
after election day? We might be able to get you some weed,
right? You just let me know. Just text me what you need. Like I said, like we talked about, going back to the topics of what we talked about, anything's possible to get. It's just, and I'm still going to get them if you want them to. They might just be illegal, but I'm still going to get them.
He wants
gummies from Leaf Relief. One Uptown Pizza.
Yep.
Yeah, I got a guy who can get us some weed gummies.
Say hookers, Dad. Let's get some hookers.
Pizza. I'll get you some Uptown Pizza.
What if Martini's like, I want 5 hookers.
we have a black couch. We have a black leather couch. So
we can get you hookers.
Afterwards, I want $75 bar.
What the hell?
The Palace of the Pie.
Strippers.
We'll talk about it.
$75 in the bar tab at the Palace of Pie. That is an all-nighter right there, buddy. At that place, you're out all night.
We'll talk about it.
All right. We'll be back next week, everybody. Thanks for watching. Make it happen. It'll be there. All right. We'll see you guys all later. Bye.
Bye.
I strut my stuff and I'm so strung out. I'm high as a kite, I just might stop to check you out. Let me go on, like a blister in the sun. Let me go on, big hands to know you're the one. Well, body beats, I stain my sheets, I don't even know why. Well, my girlfriend, she's at the end.